I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. To the flag, the United States of America, Republic,
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice.
for all.
for all. May I have a moment of silence, please? This is a regular meeting of the Glen Ridge Board of Education. Adequate notice of this change of meeting location and time has been provided in that this board notified the Glen Ridge paper and the Star Ledger on December 30th, 2020. Said notice was published in the Star Ledger on January 6th, 2021, and the Glen Ridge paper on January 7th, 2021. The date, time, and location of this meeting were also emailed to all recipients of this annual schedule of the board's meetings. The results of the annual school board election are as follows. For three-year terms, Jocelyn Gottlieb, 2,457. Duval Graham, 2,252. Larry Rudman, 1,588. Tracy St. Auburn, 2,485. Elected are Jocelyn Gottlieb, Duval Graham, and Tracy St. Auburn. This time, I would like to swear in the elected board members. Ms. St. Auburn, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me to take the oath of office? I, Tracy St. Auburn,
I, Tracy St. Auburn,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
So help me God.
so help me God.
I, Tracy St. Auburn, do solemnly swear
I, Tracy St. Auburn, do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in statute,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in statute,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we have Ms. Gottlieb. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me to take the oath of office? I, Jocelyn Gottlieb, do
I,
solemnly swear,
Jocelyn Gottlieb, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this Senate and this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Jocelyn Gottlieb, do solemnly swear
I, Jocelyn Gottlieb, do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in statute,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in statute,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
all the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome aboard. Okay, next is Ms. Graham. I, Duval Graham, do solemnly swear
I, Duval Graham, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to same
and that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
and to the governments established in this state and the United States,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Duval Graham, do solemnly swear
I, Duval Graham, do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to law,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in statute,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense as described in statute,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and that I will faithfully and justly perform
all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the roll call. Mr. Bonnet,
You're muted. Muted.
Ms. Boyle-Valucci,
Here.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Jalou,
Here.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Here.
Ms. Graham,
Here.
Ms. St. Aubern,
Here.
Dr. Yaris Ramos,
Here.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Here.
We have a quorum. Now we will move on to nominations for president. May I have a nomination for board president?
I nominate Betsy Ginsburg.
Tracy, may I have a second?
I second.
Michael, are there any other nominations? Seeing none, may I have a show of hands for Betsy Ginsburg as board president? All in favor, please raise your hands. It's unanimous. Congratulations, Ms. Ginsburg. The meeting is yours.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right, we will now take nominations for first vice presidents. May I have a nomination?
I nominate Michael DeLue.
Okay, that's David nominating Michael DeLue. May I have a second?
Second.
And
Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, may I have a show of hands for Michael DeLue as first vice president? Okay, congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now we will entertain nominations for the office of second vice president. Any nominations?
I nominate Dave Campbell.
Okay, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Taval. Any other nominations? Okay, that being the case, may I have a show of hands for David Campbell for the office of second vice president? Okay, congratulations, David. And congratulations, everyone. Well, we are ready or not, we are started on the new year. First, I'll go over the written communications that have come in since our last meeting, which was December 14th. On December 18th, we had written communication from Aaron Ackerman congratulating Dirk and the board on overall management of the COVID situation. and that was acknowledged. On December 30th, we had an email that Dirk shared with me from Janice Losciavo, who some of you may remember is a former school nurse in the district. She is now an adjunct instructor in nursing at William Patterson. And it was thanks to Pamela Barton, school nurse, for her supervision of student intern Brianna Trignano, who was with us as part of her field experience prior to getting certification as a school nurse. So it was nice to hear from Janice again, and nice to receive that. And those are the two items of public correspondence. And then the president's report. First of all, we want to offer our condolences to you, Tracy, on the death of your mother, Connie, during the holiday break. I know that we all have been thinking of you and will continue to do so. So our deepest condolences to you. January, you may all have not noticed this, but it's School Board Appreciation Month. And I wouldn't have known it at all, except that it was recognized. We all were recognized this morning in the meeting of the New Jersey State Board of Education, which recognized all of us for our many hours of volunteer service. And so thanks to all of you for stepping up. Thanks to our recently departed members, Paul and Allie, and to all the public servants who step up in good times and bad to do the work of the Board of Education. So as we've noted already, even though it is 2021, we have some issues hanging over from 2020, the most notable of them being COVID, which is of course still a struggle for everybody. We're also going into budget season, both here in Glen Ridge and also at the state level. And next Tuesday, the 12th, the Governor Murphy will give his annual State of the State message, which is going to be virtual this year. I believe it will be at 1 o'clock. The State of the State is important because it's, for us this year, it's the first glimpse really of the state's finances. And also we will hear about the governor's plans and priorities for FY22, which is what we're all planning for now. That will be followed in February, usually mid-February, round about the 12th to 15th, by the governor's annual budget address, where he will lay out in some detail his financial plan for the coming year. And then that is, of course, debated and discussed in the legislature, subject to public testimony, with the goal of arriving at an FY22 budget by June 30th, which is the legal deadline. So you'll hear a lot more about that. And of course, we will all hear a lot more about the Glen Ridge budgeting process. And while we were all enjoying the holiday break, and I hope that we all did, President-elect Biden nominated Miguel Cardona to be the next Secretary of Education. As some of you know, Dr. Cardona was the Commissioner of Education in Connecticut, well regarded there. Probably one of his first priorities, should he be confirmed, will be to decide whether to waive federally mandated standardized testing for the spring. The indication suggests that he may not do that. He has not waived standardized tests in Connecticut recently, so we may be looking at going ahead, but no one knows for sure yet. And that is the president's report. So I will turn it over to Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, Betsy. First of all, Happy New Year to the entire school community. And congratulations to the newly elected board members. Since our last meeting, there's only been a handful of school days, so there's not a lot to report on. We are preparing for the school buildings to reopen come Monday, January 11th. I want to remind families to make sure that they're following the health procedures, including the daily health questionnaire that they must fill out, making sure that the students are wearing, their children are wearing masks when they come to school, and obviously promoting the social distancing when they're in school and out of school. I'm also encouraging families to continue to communicate with our school nurses. Obviously during the break, there was a little lag with that, and we're encouraging our students to reach out to parents as needed, but it would be very helpful if there's a situation such as a positive case in the family, a close contact with this that a child may have, or if you've traveled, that if you could reach out to the school nurse, that would help us in addressing our protocols as far as quarantine is concerned. Since the December break, we've had 9 positive COVID cases within our school community, and that's a combination of students and staff members. Obviously, that did not happen within school because the schools have been closed for the last couple of weeks. We have roughly about 50 students that will need to be quarantined next week when schools reopen, and 90% of that is related to travel outside of the district. The town of Glen Ridge, for those who aren't aware, they are up to 180 cases overall since the start of the pandemic. And if you remember correctly, I believe in the start of November, we were around 60. So the last couple of months have been very trying on this community as far as COVID cases. We are opening pre-K and kindergarten registration on Monday. This will be a new process for us because it will be completely online. We started working on that process about roughly a year ago. COVID hit and then stalled us from completing the task. But in the last month, the elementary principals, the secretaries, Director of Technology, Winnie Boswell, and I have been working to make sure that's up and running for registration for this upcoming school year. Tonight, we'll be approving new Board of Ed committees, members, and I promise that I will try to get a meet with every committee before the next board meeting so everyone has something to report out on. And as Betsy mentioned earlier, we are started the process of the school budget for the 21-22 school year. All the school buildings and departments have submitted their budget to Barbara. She's compiling the numbers, and we will be working with our finance and facility committee to make difficult decisions because the budget process is always about decision making, and it's and this year it's probably a little bit more so because of a lot of the extra expenses related to the pandemic, but also because of some lost revenue that we've had also related to the pandemic. And that's my report.
Thank you, Dirk. We have come now to the first public comment period for public comments on agenda items only. For those of you who are with us regularly, you know that each public comment can be 2 minutes in duration, and that timing will be done by me. You should give us your name, confirm your Glen Ridge residence, give us whatever comments you have. If you have several different comments, please give them all at once so that we can address them hopefully in the order that you've given them. And you should, if you want to give a public comment, you should use the raise your hand function, which is at the participants button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Just hit the raise your hand. I will recognize you, hopefully as you have in the order that you raised your hands. And so now we can go ahead. So does anyone have questions or comments? I am not seeing any hands. Other than my own, just testing that out. Any questions or comments? Okay.
There'll be another session.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. That was me. I said they can ask at the end if they want. But
Yes, there is a second public comment period for comments on agenda items or other items relating to the running of the schools. So if you think of something in the midst of the meeting, you will have an opportunity at the end. Okay, let's move on to the rest of our agenda. You had some minutes from the last board meeting, which is December 14th, exec session and regular session meeting minutes. You should have had a chance to take a look at them. Michael, would you move the minutes?
yes, I'll move M1.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second from David. Any questions, comments, additions, deletions, etc.? Okay, seeing none. Barbara, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bonnet,
Anthony, you're
Yes.
muted.
Ms. Boyle Belucci,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Delou,
Aye.
Ms. Gottlieb,
I'll abstain.
Ms. Graham,
I'll also abstain.
Ms. St. Aubern,
Aye.
Dr. Yaris Ramos,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Hi. Motion carries. We also have some administrative items both on our agenda and also on the addendum to the agenda where you see item E9, appointment of committees, to which Mr. Phillips just referred. David, may I have a motion for the administrative item?
Motion.
Okay, may I have a second?
That's A1 through A9. I'm just seeing the addendum.
Yes, A1 through A9. May I have a second?
Second.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Michael. Sorry.
Michael, I'm sorry. Okay, any questions or comments from the board on any of the agenda items? I do want to add on item A3 that Jocelyn Gottlieb has volunteered to be a delegate to the New Jersey School Boards Association. Thank you, Jocelyn. It is a very good thing. And unless anyone wants to be the alternate, I will volunteer myself as the alternate. Is that okay with everyone?
Betsy?
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yes, Heather.
So I noticed the schedule for our board meetings is up there and they're meeting, are we going back to meeting at 7 again? Because that's what it says.
Right. Dirk, do you want to address that?
Yeah. So what I suggested to Betsy is that we amend A1 and to leave the timeout and just approve the dates. And as we proceed, we're advertised for the first several months for the time that we've been going, but I would prefer to leave it open-ended. So when we do want to go back to our original times, when we're permitted to do so, when conditions are better, that we're able to do that and we'll re-advertise in the papers that we advertise in and to the public.
Okay. So since we have amended both A1 and also amended by adding to A3, I have a motion to move the administrative items as amended. David, would you move that again?
Yeah, I'll move it A1 through A9 with A1 amended and A3
Yes.
amended.
May I have a second?
Second. Okay. Either way.
I think, was that Anthony who had it?
Yeah, Anthony got it.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. So the move has been seconded. Barbara, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bonnet,
Aye.
Ms. Boyle Belucci,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Delou,
Aye.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Aye.
Ms. Graham,
You're muted.
Ms. Graham,
Abstain.
abstain. Ms. St. Aubern,
Aye.
Dr. Yaris Ramos,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Hi. The motion carries. Tracy, would you move the personnel items?
Yes, I move P1 through P6, which includes addendum items for P1, P3, P5, and P6.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Anthony. Any personnel items are generally discussed in exec session. If you have an objection to any of these personnel items or believe we should table them pending further discussion, please let me know now. Okay, hearing none. Barbara, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bonnet,
Aye.
Ms. Boyle Belucci,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Delou,
Aye.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Abstain.
Ms. Graham,
Abstain.
Ms. St. Aubern,
Aye.
Dr. Yaros Ramos,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Aye. Motion carries. We have a curriculum item. Michael, would you move the curriculum item?
Yes, I'll move C1.
Right, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Anthony. Okay, any discussion on item C1, approval of the adoption of textbook list for the Glen Ridge Public Schools on file for the period of January 6th, 2021 to January 5th, 2022. Any discussion or comment?
I'm just curious if most of those are online textbooks now, or are we still buying hard copies?
It's a combination. Typically, what the textbook companies do, the vendors, is they're charging the same price for the combination. So if you purchase a textbook, they include the online for free. But if you just want the online, they're charging the same price as they would for purchasing the textbooks. So, I'd say that when we look at our textbooks, 90% of them are also, there's an online version of them.
Okay. Other questions or comments on the curriculum item? All right, that being the case, Barbara, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bonnet.
Aye.
Ms. Boyle Valucci,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. DeLu,
Aye.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Aye.
Ms. Graham, Ms. Graham. I'm sorry.
I abstain.
Thank you. Ms. St. Aubern,
Aye.
Dr. Yaros Ramos,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Aye. Before we move on the business items, Barbara, when we received our copies of the addendum, item B5 did not have an attached list. Is it-
So B5 is actually just one check for the amount that's listed in the motion, and it's made to Daskell, and it's the final payment on the central school renovations.
Okay, that clears that up. Thank you.
That's
All
the
right.
Thanks.
that's the 33,000 you're talking about?
Yes,
Yes.
33,000.
All right, David, would you move the business items?
Yeah, are there any other questions about that? Or are we good? Okay, then I'll move. Sorry, now I'm flipping around. B1 through B5. Oh, I see Barbara mouthing 5. Yes, B1 through B5.
That includes them B4 and B5 are on the addendum. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, I'm sorry, I didn't see who gave the second. Was it Duval?
Teresa.
Teresa.
I'm sorry, Teresa. Okay,
Oh, it's okay.
moved and seconded. Are there any other questions on any of the business items? Okay. In that case, Barbara, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bonnet,
Aye.
Ms. Boyle Valucci,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. DeLu,
Aye.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Aye.
Ms. Graham,
Abstain.
Ms. St. Aubern,
Aye.
Dr. Yaros Ramos,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries. We've now reached the second public comment period for questions or comments on agenda or other items pertaining to the running of the schools. The same rules apply, and the raise your hand function applies as well. Does anyone have a question or comment? I see one from Charlie Breslin.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
So first of all, I'd like to congratulate you, Betsy and Michael, on re-election, and especially, our two who joined, Jocelyn Duval. Thank you very much for your commitment to service. I'm in awe that you all have donated your time and expertise to this. So thank you very much. This is a funny question or just a statement, but have you ever considered letting people know how many people are attending the webinar? I think that one of the things that I missed from the transition to online was reading the room. How many people are in the room, who's going, who's paying attention? I don't know if there's concerns about releasing names or anything like that, but I think it occurred to me a few times in the heat of the pandemic, but you always thought there'd be an end in sight. God willing, there is an end in sight. But now that it's a fresh new year, I just ask if you've considered it and if there's any ramifications around it. I'm just curious who else is interested. And thank you again.
I think that, thank you. I think we could give the number. We have 35 participants now. Of those 35, 12 of them you're looking at versus the board plus Barbara Dirk and Athena Cornell, our attorney. So it's 35 minus 12.
I will say, I do remember that at the very height of the pandemic, we had as many as 365 people on one night.
We
which
did.
was
And
quite a
I
lot.
lost count of the number of those people who asked questions, but it was
was
quite
365, I believe.
it was quite a large number of people who asked questions, and
Yeah.
that was astounding to me. So does that answer your question, Charlie?
It does. I was always curious how much the pandemic did versus the school calendar. So
I will try in the future to mention how many participants we have.
that's very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other comments? This is a quiet group of 35 people. Okay, if there are no other public comments, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn to executive session.
I move to adjourn to executive session.
A motion from David. And may I have a second?
I'll second it, Michael. Michael seconded.
Michael, and a word of direction for our audience. We normally have our exec session before the public session. In this case, since we had 3 new board members who needed to be sworn in, we're having it afterwards. We will not be going back into public session after the executive session. So with that, I will adjourn public session. And board members, I will see all of you in just a few minutes.
Great.
Thank you all.